Hi there, Kris from Stone Age Gamer here, and welcome back to Stone Age Gaming. Now, a little more than a year ago, actually I guess a year and a half ago-ish, May 2022, was it May? Anyway, a while ago, I made a video about me getting an Atari VCS, and what I thought of it. You know, my first impressions unboxing it, then playing around with it after having seen it for about a week, and I liked it at the time. The question is, do I still like it? Here we are, a year change later, do I still enjoy the Atari VCS? And honestly, the answer is yes, with a big ol' asterisk next to it, because it is hardly my primary platform. It is 100% a novelty console, but the novelty is really neat, and I have to say that I've really more than gotten my money's worth of joy out of utilizing this weird little system. So I thought I would do a check-in a year and change later. What do I still think of the Atari VCS? Let's take a look. Alright everybody, so here is where I keep my VCS. So if you've seen our game room tour from pretty recently, this is my larger TV, and this is this little section here that I have connected some HDMI platforms on a PS4, PS3, but this is where the VCS lives, right here on this shelf. And it's nice because I like the way this system looks. I love the way this system looks, as a matter of fact. It's a really cool looking platform, so having it sitting on my shelf with the little Fuji logo there is a pretty awesome thing. So what I did with this, which I really got to do something to hide those wires better in the back, but I'll get to that eventually. What I did with this that I thought was neat, so I have this guy up here. I think I did a video on this not that long ago. This is a Pac-Man Infinite Mirror statue, right? But it requires being plugged in order to do the whole Infinite Mirror effect. So what I thought would be neat, since this shelf isn't quite as deep as the other ones, and with the exception of the Switch, which, you know, I needed lower so my kids could actually get to it, there really isn't any sort of game system I could put up there. So I put this guy up here, and I plugged this statue in to the VCS, because it just takes USB. So now whenever I play VCS, I turn this on, the Pac-Man statue's on, showing off the infinite Pac-Man maze, which I think is extremely cool. So yeah, that's where the VCS is, and it hooks up to this TV here, which it takes its time. I did some direct feed recording, but you can see it doesn't exactly turn on immediately when you turn the system on. It takes a minute to get cooking properly on the TV. There we go. There's the startup sequence. So I do also want to say this right here. This was one of the deciding factors in me even getting the system, which was this. This is the new Atari joystick, and as you can see, it's kind of dusty. That's because I never use this thing. I just don't like it. I wish I did. Still have any battery life in it? Oh my goodness, it does still have battery life in it. Look at that. It looks so cool. I think this is one of the coolest looking controllers ever, but the classic joystick itself, I never really got over its dead zone problems. It just doesn't feel as good to use as I wanted it to, as far as for the different games that you use this joystick for. Like the twisty knob here, it just has a weird level of resistance to it that makes everything seem all jumpy. I wanted to love it, but I didn't. But fortunately, this doesn't really cause a problem for me, because while it is neat, and there are some times like in Atari 50 that I would bust this out just to see what it does and see how it functions. And really, they did such a good job in Atari 50 of making this controller work in any number of circumstances. Atari 50 is just a flippin' masterpiece, no question about it. But I do use this all the time. This is the regular, what do they call it, the modern controller? Let's see how it syncs. This is something weird the system does, is, there you go, modern controller connected. Sometimes it just gets a little weird when you're trying to synchronize more than one controller, and I do wish I had more than one controller, proper controller, because there are a couple of things I wouldn't mind playing multiplayer. But, yeah, this is how I've been using pretty much all of my games. The D-pad isn't the best in the world, but it's not nearly as bad as I thought it was going to be. Like, the circular shape doesn't bother me as much, because these four dots actually do a good job of keeping a good job of keeping your thumb knowing where it is, but it's got a weird level of resistance. Like, it feels like you have to push it too much to make it do the things you want it to do, but only a little bit. Like, I've definitely used worse D-pads in my life than this thing, and I've really gotten used to it, and I play the likes of Dodo with this, and I've spent a lot of time with several of these other games, which we're going to switch over to a little direct feed video, and I'm going to show off what I do with my Atari VCS and how I play it. But as far as its physical location and how it works for me, it's here in my basement. I have it set up over here, and just when I want to play some quick games, I turn it on, I watch that super cool intro, and I sit back and I spend a little time with my Atari. So let's take a closer look at the games themselves that I've been playing on Atari VCS. Okay, I am going to show you around my VCS. Now, I just hit the power button, and I love the startup screen on the Atari VCS. It's so cool. So it's going to show this little Fuji logo here, which actually my TV rarely displays. Here we go. Here we go. That has got to be one of my favorite the startup screens of all time. I absolutely love that startup screen. Okay, this is my VCS. I am Captain K, and this is the way it starts up. As you can see, I edited a little bit of that out. This thing can take longer to start up than you want it to, which is one of my complaints about the system. But again, it's a minor quibble. So let's see. Here is, I'm going to choose my account. You can, once I get my controller synced up here. Come on, buddy, you can do it. There you go. All right, so my controller's connected. You can sign in to a different account, create a new account, sign in as a guest, or this is my account. So I'm just going to jump in on my account and show you around my VCS and what I do with it. Now, like I said, this is a novelty system. That's how I treat it. It's just a neat little novelty system that is, I have purposely curated it to be small, to not have much on it. I know I said in my old video that I really wanted to find a way to get use the PC mode and get Stella up and running and just have it be my Atari emulation device, but I never wound up doing that because I'm just not great with figuring out how to do all that stuff. I know it's not hard, but it's not really within my wheelhouse, and because like this exists, Atari 50 has most of the games that I would want to play, and I know in the future there's going to be they announced that they teamed up with Polymega, I think, is the company that they have that machine that you connect all the different cartridge inputs to. They're teaming up to make the VCS basically like one of those things. So I'll be able to get the Atari 2600 adapter and put the games that aren't on here, just put the cartridges directly in there and be able to play those on here, which will be great because that's all I want to do. So this is the home screen, and you can customize this to be kind of whatever you want. If you hold down the A button on any of your icons, you can just kind of place whatever you want here. And this is my basic layout right here. This is what I do whenever I turn on the VCS. I play usually one of these games. Occasionally, I will venture outside. I've tried out a couple of different things, like the YouTube app is not an app. It just takes you to a website that it just uses its browser to do YouTube. It's not super useful. I tried this game, Pedra. I didn't really think that much of it. It was on sale for a couple of dollars. But the thing about the VCS is that it is really focused around these kinds of games. So I'm going to move over to the store just to kind of show you around the store. The store is updated itself considerably since I got the system. I feel like the filters are a lot easier to use. You press the little start button and you can filter with all these different things here. You can search for individual things. And then it's got this is the basics, the games. There's 135 games available for this system, and they keep adding new ones every now and then. It's not like a constant barrage of new titles for it, but they do still keep putting games on this system, which I think is really cool. I really want to try this haunted house, but I just haven't really felt like pulling the trigger on a $16 game for a haunted house that I'm not sure I'm going to like. It's like, I keep going back and forth on it, but I do think that a lot of this stuff is really neat, and it's really designed to be these really simple pick up and play kinds of games, and that's what's available for it. And that's why I like this system as much as I do. Is like whenever I play on the Switch, I have a ton of games, and sometimes I'll get sucked in and be like, well, I want to play Vampire Survivors, so that's a half an hour. And I tend to not go for the simple pick up and play for 5-minute games that are available on here. And I have this system in my basement. It's away from, it's with all of my other retro games, but it's away from my primary systems. And so if I just want to turn this on for a little bit and play something quick, I can. So obviously Atari 50, if you have a VCS, I can't recommend Atari 50 enough. If you don't have a VCS, I can't recommend Atari 50 enough. This is phenomenal, and it works just great on the VCS. A lot of the games have been, they utilize the classic controller, the joystick, in some good ways. So like games that required a rotary, you can use the classic controller for those, which is quite nice. So let's see, Digital Eclipse did a phenomenal job on this. I played through all of the timeline stuff upstairs on my Switch, so I haven't gone through the timeline on VCS yet. So I haven't unlocked all the hidden games like Basic Math, which I'm okay with that. I can live with not being able to play Basic Math until later on here. But I just wanted to show you around. If you haven't seen Atari 50 in action, it's magnificent. It is just truly wonderful. Playing through the timeline is the best way to do this. It's the best darn thing in the world. You go through timeline bit by bit, and it puts every single game that's in this collection, with the exception of the new games they just added through DLC. Although maybe they did. I don't know. I didn't really look through the timeline yet. If they put them in to the timeline for the historical context, like I know Basic Math isn't written in with the timeline, but you can look through all these things and play through the games in the order that they were released in, and then play them. You can play them as you learn about them in chronological order, which is pretty cool. Like you can play the arcade version of Breakout, and then you can play this Neo Breakout, which is a new reimagined version of Breakout they made just for Atari 50, which is pretty darn cool. And they cover all this stuff. Like these videos are really interesting. All these interviews with everybody involved in these old Atari games are really, really interesting to look at. I cannot recommend this enough. It is just outstanding. See, Birth of a Console. If I see like Circus Atari or something on here, Combat, Air Sea Battle, Surround. I feel like Circus Atari was a little later. Okay. I'm not seeing it on the timeline. Yeah, there's Yars Revenged. I'm pretty sure the newer releases are not in here. Demons to Diamonds. Yeah, now we're in Silver Box territory. So yeah, they didn't add the newer stuff, the DLC, to the timeline, which makes sense. That's fine. That's fine. So basically, this is the timeline system. It's outstanding. You can play the games. You can zoom in on the boxes and the manuals, or you can just at any time go to the overall game library. And you can sort these out by platform or release date or whatever. I like the Vector Sector quite a bit. This is probably my favorite thing in here besides the interactive timeline. This thing is so cool. It's just like a love letter to the classic Atari Vector games. Now, just so you know, I am not great at this, but I'm not as bad as this is going to make me look. I am playing this directly off of my capture device, so like there's a ton of input lag here from what I can see, and I also can't hear the games, which is kind of annoying because I haven't really figured out how to do that properly yet. But this is Vector Sector. The first stage is Asteroids, but as a twin-stick shooter. So, you've got a lot of momentum. So, like, if you think of something like Geometry Wars, you don't have as precise control as you do in Geometry Wars. You kind of float around like you do in Asteroids, except you have, like, just a lot more offensive capabilities here. Then we'll switch right over to Lunar Lander. I'm going to aim for the 5 to see if I can pull it off. I never really played Lunar Lander when I was a kid. That game completely got past me, and I didn't really understand what this was when I played this for the first time, and then I played through Atari 50, and I got to understand Lunar Lander as a thing. You got to make sure you're not coming too fast, and there we go. Boom, got the 5X. Way to go, me. Then it transfers over to this thing, which is when we interviewed Stephen Frost on the Stone Age Gamer podcast, he said that this was actually, oh yeah, good job. Yeah, tip, use the shield. That's a good tip right there. He said that this was kind of their take on Battlezone. Since Atari didn't have the rights to Battlezone anymore, this is kind of like the Vector Sector's love letter to Battlezone. Holy cow, I'm getting trashed here. Let's see if I can actually get through this stage without without dying again so you can actually see the Tempest bit of this. Nope, I can't. Messed it up. I'm not even putting my initials in. Nope. Blank. Game over. So after this, it transitions into Tempest, and then it loops and gets harder and harder from there. But you can see like the mountains in the background. It's kind of a very direct love letter. So I want to go over to we're going to go to Haunted House, and just to show you, because I remember playing Haunted House in the last one, and Haunted House did not. Oh, there it is. Haunted House didn't sound right. This one looks and plays exactly the way it's supposed to. So here's Haunted House moving around, and you can see that it sounds the way it's supposed to sound. It looks the way it's supposed to look. All the effects are exactly the way that they're supposed to be, which is wonderful. It just makes me super happy, because that's the way this game is supposed to look. There's you lighting a match, walking around like a weird orange blob, which is fun, and you can tell which ones have staircases when you have a match. Like there's a staircase, I can go upstairs. There you go, Haunted House, working the way it's supposed to. Watch this. I'm going to be going, oh, my eyes are going crazy, I'm scared of the spider. So there we go. It works. Everything in Atari 50 works so much better than the VCS vault, which is, slightly disappointing, I gotta say. But also, it's just nice to have all these available and in such great form here in Atari 50. So that's one of the things I like to use my VCS for. If I want to play 2600 games, chances are I'm just going to do it here on Atari 50, because most of what I like to play is on there. This is another one I spent a lot of time with. I know I like to use my VCS for like quick pick up and play things, but where Atari 50 is a very serious take on Atari's history, this is a really goofy take on Atari's history. It's such a fun game. It's a frustrating game because it doesn't control perfectly. The controls can be a little finicky, more than you'd want them to, but see, I'm at 96.8% done with this game. And I'm pretty sure the only thing I have left to do is this arcade cabinet on the 4th floor. So here's various characters from various Atari games. The whole process is to free Bentley Bear. He's been possessed by some sort of glitch that's making him all evil, and that last boss fight against Bentley Bear is so difficult. It is absurd. And after you get through the various challenges from these various characters, you can then play with these arcade cabinets, and these cabinets will make you go through the mini games again, but like in a faster, harder mode. You have these different like items you get throughout the course of the game to help you traverse the museum, like the magnet from the magnet from Adventure. This is the candle from Haunted House. This is the bridge from Adventure, which is funny because it looks just like the 2600 bridge, and you just kind of put it somewhere and then you can walk across chasms, which is really fun. This is such a delightful game if you are interested in Atari history. I can't recommend playing this enough, especially after playing Atari 50. If after you're done with Atari 50, play this one, so you'll have a bit more of an appreciation for the games that they chose to put in here, and you'll appreciate the mashups that they do a little bit better. So this is going to mash up Solaris, a Missile Command. I didn't see the other ones, they went away too fast. But what these do, all these mini games are based on those 4 games, and every single one of the mini games, some of them are just going to be like straightforward. This is Solaris. And this one was just save the humans, so I'm just gonna, try and save the humans and not die. And it's very similar to WarioWare, where it picks up these, they're little micro games based on specific older Atari games. And then once you complete them, then you move on to the next mini game. Some of them go by in a couple of seconds, some of them take a little bit longer. So there's a success. Hooray for me. I move on. This last one is 19. 19 of those things, and they're not easy. Especially when I'm playing with the input lag here. Again, even without input lag, they can be very difficult, and that last boss fight against Bentley Bear is insanely difficult. Alright, so land on the landing zone. This is Skydiver. This one's pretty easy. Land on the landing zone, no problem. This one's Crystal Castles. Collect them all. So you move around Bentley Bear, and you collect the little crystals, and I walked right into that guy. I'm terrible at Crystal Castles. I never really got into that game to begin with. Alright, so we're doing Missile Command here. This is pretty straightforward, but you'll see if I can survive long enough, we'll start to see some of the mashup ones. I think they're getting the basics out of the way, and then we can see some of the stranger mashups that they do. And all I gotta do is survive. There we go. Success. So what are you gonna throw at me next? All the games. Thank you, Arcados. Alright, so now it's destroy aliens. So this is just another Solaris thing, except instead of saving people, I just need to shoot 6 of these aliens. And it shouldn't be too hard. And look at that, I did it. Hooray for me. Alright, what's next? Defend. Alright, so this is Missile Command mashed up with Pong. So I have to shoot these Pong blocks with the missiles, which is harder than it looks because they move on non-missile command trajectories, which is pretty great. And also the controls are not as tight as you want them to be for missile command. Oh my goodness, I can't believe I survived that. Whew. Alright, so I don't know if you've noticed, the music in this game is great. I really love this game's soundtrack so much. I think they did such a great job with it. Alright, so this is Catch the Skydiver. This is a cross between Circus Atari and Skydiver. So I'm going to wait for him to show up. There he is, and catch him on my trampoline. Good for me. Hooray! That's a super fast one. Alright, I'm doing okay. I've only lost 1 life, and I'm definitely going to lose again. Alright, so this one is a cross between Crystal Castles and Wizard. And Wizard is, if I don't forget my history, Wizard was never actually released on 2600. But it was later released as a prototype. And then there's a couple of games based on Wizard in here, which is weird, but whatever. Alright, so that Wizard's going to shoot at me, and I'm going to get blasted because I'm not good at these ones. So I'm going to try my best. I am so bad at avoiding those little gray dudes, too. I'm going to try jumping over them. Okay, not too bad. Can I jump over the tree? I can. And the Wizard shot me. We'll never get that one right. There's no way I'm going to get to Bentley on this run. There's just no way. I haven't played this in a little while. Alright, so this is, let's see. Don't let any of them land. I want to say this is Canyon Bomber crossover with Skydiver. So you want to blow up all these planes. You can't let any of these planes, any of the Skydivers land. Okay. Oh, no, I messed it up! Because you've got this little block in the middle there. You're supposed to kind of position it so you can... I can't believe I messed that one up. Alright, this is straightforward. Solaris combined with Millipede. So here we go. Let's destroy the Millipede. And all the mushrooms from Millipede are coming at you, similar to the enemies in Solaris, which is kind of funny. Come on. Get that last bit. Get on. Got it. Success. I win. And like WarioWare, you have this extremely limited amount of time to do it. Survive. Alright, so this is Missile Command in Solaris. You can blow these things up, but really all you need to do is not explode. Which is harder than it looks. I got 7 seconds left. Come on, you can do this. Don't blow up. This is your last life. And... I did it! Alright. Go me. Alright, what do we got next? We have Dodge. Okay, this is... Asteroids and Pong, maybe? Dodge, so get out of there. Yay. That was easy. No problem. What's next? Defend. Okay, this one's hard because this is Missile Command, but you're... Instead of shooting the lasers at them, you're the ship from Asteroids, which is... These things are harder to hit than you would imagine. So, let's see if I can get into a good position. I like to kind of do this and just kind of shoot straight across. This tends to keep me alive the longest when I'm doing this one. But I'm not great at it. Come on, only have to last 4 more seconds. I think I got this in the bag. Yes, success! Alright, that was a tough one. 14. What do you got for me, Arcados? Dodge. Okay, so this one you just have to... These giant asteroids are going to come at you, and you just have to get off screen. So I'm going to go here, and success. Just safely get off the screen. That's not hard. Nah, no, not a big deal. What we got here? Land on the landing zone. Oh, this one's tough. Alright, so this is Missile Command crossed with Skydiver. The missiles are going to be coming up from the cities, and I have to avoid the missiles and land safely in the landing zone. Not an easy thing to do. So I am going to launch myself here. And I made it! Woo! Alright, good times. Next up. Catch all the Skydivers. Oh, this one's hard. This is going to be tough with the lag because Bentley's jump is weird. Alright, this is cross between Crystal Castles and Skydivers. Alright. Here goes nothing.
messed it up straight away. I thought I was going to make it to the boss. I did not. All right, so that's the basics of Atari Mania. This game is a blast. If you like Atari history, please try this game. It's such a fun, weird little game, and it can be very frustrating because the controls aren't great, but honestly, it's so fun. It's filled with all kinds of fun little Easter eggs, a little bit of historical bits, and you can tell that the heart was there. Like, they really put a lot of effort into making this game. They didn't 100% nail it, but I can't recommend it enough. If you like Atari, you got to give this a shot. Back to the main menu, and we're just going to quit out of this. Now, one of the things about the VCS that is a little odd is quitting out the games. You can quit them straight from the menus, but sometimes if you get stuck or whatever, you can hold down the Atari button on the controller, and it'll bring up this extra menu, which is not super smooth, but it does the trick. Exit a dashboard. I love the zooming effect. The zooming in and out is really, really cool. Okay, so the other thing that I do, Donut Dodo. Have you ever played Donut Dodo before? I'm going to show this real quick. If you've never played this before, you should. This is also available on every other platform under the sun, and in fact, I can't stress this enough. There's nothing my VCS does that my other systems can't do. This is a novelty to just have these games specifically set aside for this one specific system. So Donut Dodo is one of the best pick up and play games ever. It's you can see that it's got it's very Donkey Kong-esque, as in you have to get these things and get up to the top, where the titular Donut Dodo, who has stolen the gigantic donut, is running back and forth, and you want to get that big donut, but you can't get the big donut, so you get all the little donuts. So you run around on this stage. The toilet is the thing to avoid. The toilet is... Oh, why did I do that? You can't run into the dodo. I was having such a good time, too. I was doing okay. But see, now the toilet's up there. He will follow you, and you cannot jump over him. The toilet is a problem. What is his name? He's got a real clever name, too. Man, I did it again. I am not having a great run here. All right, just wait till the dodo runs around. Oh, no, he stopped. He's going to fart. Oh, I'm toast again. Oh, I can't believe that. That was a terrible run. It was a terrible, terrible run. Donut Dodo is amazing. You should get this game on any platform. I love having it on my VCS because every time I turn it on, I'll take like at least one run at it, just because it's hard not to. And the cool little zooming effect, back in business. Now, of course, the Atari Recharged games. I have enjoyed every one of them, but I genuinely love a couple of them. Gravitar Recharged is fun. Oh, there's an update available. I didn't know that. That's cool. Gravitar is great. Gravitar takes a little bit more time, so I'm not going to show that one off. Black Widow is a really great twin-stick shooter. I had never played the original Black Widow until Atari 50, and then the Recharged is a really, really cool version of it. Breakout Recharged is okay. It's a great concept, but I've yet to have a platform that controls it the way I want to control it. Like, I just don't like the spinner, the paddle controller on the classic controller for the VCS. It doesn't move fast enough to make this game fun to play. However, Yars Recharged is absolutely my favorite. Caverns of Mars Recharged is a blast, and I just bought Berserk Recharged this morning for this video, so I can try it for the first time here. But real quick, let's go over a couple of my favorites just to show them off. Caverns of Mars Recharged is a very good time, and I'm not great at it. For some reason, my VCS doesn't like to play the Atari logos. Like, you can hear the sound, like they're going over the little logos in the beginning, but ta-da, it just shows a blank screen because this system is a little wonky at times. I'm going to go to arcade, and I'm just going to skip all the bonus stuff. So you're this ship, and you're constantly burning fuel, and the idea is to get to the bottom of the screen without taking damage and keeping as much fuel in your tank as you can. Now, this first stage is relatively easy, and whenever you blast, blasting your weapons causes you to slow down, which I just ran into the wall there a little bit. And that's kind of the whole, the risk reward. Like, you got to shoot. Oh yeah, that's right. That's not background element. That's a thing that will kill me. Shooting takes time and wastes fuel, but it also clears your path. So it's the constant risk reward of like, well, how am I going to get through this? What's the best course of action to get through this stage without dying? And clearly, it's being better at this game than I am. There we go. Made it to the bottom of stage 1. Once you get to the end of the stage, you have to choose an upgrade, which can be kind of obnoxious because they're not always things that you want. Increase fuel capacity, reduce rate of fire. No, I like my rate of fire. Let's see. Shooting down enemies replenishes fuel, reduces fuel capacity. That's not great. Gain fuel, remove random upgrade. Sure, let's do that. So you have to choose one between every stage, which is kind of a fun little wrinkle in this whole situation now. This is where we're going to start seeing more enemies start to attack me. You've got those laser beams that you can blow up the side of them. You can blow up one of their sides and the laser goes away, but then you have to like make sure you do that before you get hit. Or blow up this little turret here. And again, the longer you spend on the stage, the more fuel and points you're losing. So if you want to get high scores, you got to be as fast as you can. And it's super fun. No, don't crash into the walls. Crash into the walls. Walls are what got me. There you go. That's Caverns of Mars Recharged. This game is a blast. I know some people were disappointed in it because it wasn't exactly like the original. I think this is a great take on it. I think it's a super fun game, and I've had a ton of fun playing it. So let's equip this one. Next up, let's take a look at Berserk Recharged. I just bought this morning, specifically for this video. I loved Berserk on Atari 2600. I have barely played the arcade version of it. None of the arcades around me when I was a kid had Berserk, so my only real history is with the 2600 game, but I played the nonsense out of that 2600 game. It was so much fun, and I have no idea what this is going to be like. So Berserk Recharged, I've heard mixed reviews on it. I feel like the thing that has been disappointing, some people didn't like the visuals. I can say that I'm not over enthused by what I'm seeing, but it doesn't look bad to me so far, as long as they get Evil Auto right. If you've never played Berserk before, Berserk has this... The big bad in Berserk is this smiley face that just bounces at you, and it's hilarious. And so as long as they get Evil Auto right, I'm good. I can't say I was super thrilled with the way he looked when I've seen it in trailers, but he goes by pretty quickly, so I'll see how I feel about him in-game. Alright, let's just do arcade real quick. Let's do an arcade game. I don't love the way this dude looks, I'll tell you that. He's reminding me of the Atari Mania guy, which was great in Atari Mania, but I don't know that really works here. But whatever, alright. So I move around, I can aim with the right analog stick. So it's a twin stick shooter. Okay, that's cool. I have a dash move. That's kind of neat. It recharges. Power up. That does nothing. I'm sure it will do something in the game. So let's go up. Why not? And alright, there's this, is that a gun turret maybe? Okay, so there's the robots. Can I touch the walls? I can! Oh, that's different. In Berserk, the 20th game, you can't touch the walls. It's Otto! Look at him! Oh, he's so happy to see me. He just wants to kill me. Oh, I love him. Oh, I love him. He looks great! And I still can't kill him. He looked so mad when he came through the door, and then when he saw me, he just got all happy. Oh, that's great. I love that. Okay, so this is going pretty well so far. All right, so that's the auto timer. What is this? Health? Do I have a health? I have a health bar. Okay, there he is. Hey, buddy. Look at him. He's so cute. So why is this one red? Do I want to go through the red door? I want to go through this orange door. Okay, so everything's still yellow. I have to assume that as I get deeper into the game, the robots will become smarter and faster and change colors, which is like what they did in the 27 game. So I want to go through his door. Hey, he's happy. I love this. I love the way he looks. That is, I never really thought that I would like an Evil Auto that wasn't just a blank smiley face staring at the screen, but I tell you, I'm really enjoying that. Okay. Super dash. Ooh. Alright, this is a bad move. This is a bad move. Why did I do that? Why did I... Oh, he squished me. Otto got me. Oh, that's great. Oh, I'm going to spend some time with this for sure. I mean, not now, obviously, because we're recording a video, but oh, I'm definitely going to spend some time with that. This is great. Oh, it's got missions. I love the missions in these Recharge games. Destroy all enemies. So basically the mission modes, when I did Centipede Recharge a long time ago, the mission modes where they're just like, they tell you a specific thing. Here's the thing to do. Once you do that, then you're good to go. Destroy all the enemies. Do I have to go to a different screen, maybe? That's where I had the most fun in Centipede. Oh, okay, there we go. So it's got a counter on the bottom of how many enemies I need to destroy. And yeah, like playing the arcade version of Centipede Recharged was fine, but once I discovered how the mission mode worked, I was like, oh, I get it now. This is really fun. And they have you do specific things to get through them. And I am enjoying this so far. Seems pretty straightforward. 23 enemies. All right, go, go, go. Otto's chasing me. He's chasing me down. Oh, I love that thing. I think he looks great. Oh, oof. All right, 15. Okay, so unlike regular Berserk, where I can go in all these different directions, this is just a very specific setup of these are the stages you're going through. Go through them and kill all these enemies. 1, 22. That's 23 out of 23. And I did it. Mission completed. Okay, cool. So what other kind of missions do we get to do here? Destroy enemies, destroy enemies, destroy enemies. Okay, so it looks like at least to start, there are going to be all these kind of just destroy all enemies things. Okay, whatever. That's fun. That's Berserk Recharged, or at least the basics of it. I have to say, I like it. I am pretty enthused by this. But, if I'm being serious, the real business on Atari VCS, and really, again, on any platform, but the game that I have played, put more time in than anything else is this one, Yars Recharged. I love Yars Revenge for 2600. I think it's a very neat game, and I always liked the lore behind it as a kid. And this recharged version, again, I know some folks didn't love it because it took a different approach to what Yars Revenge is, but holy cow, I think it is genius. This is one of the most fun games, and I'm stuck on a specific mission. It's the second to last mission in the game. I am completely stuck. If you go through the missions here, what is it called? I wish you could scroll through these faster, but you can't. There it is, Wingman. It's just Wingman and Powerwall. That's it. That's all I have left to beat this game. And I bought this again on Switch to see if I could do better with a Switch controller, which I can't. I'm still stuck on Wingman. VCS or Switch, I just can't get past this stage. But I'm going to show you the basics of the way this works in arcade mode. So here we are, arcade mode. I tend to not choose any of these bonuses because I just like playing for funsies, not for high scores. So just like Yars Revenge, you're a little bug thing called a Yar, and you use the right analog stick to shoot in any direction. So it's a twin stick shooter. Fun times. As long as you're pressing that direction, you're shooting, or if you go right up to something and you press the shoot button, you will eat it. Like it goes by a little bit faster, but it's more risky because you're right up next to it. Now you'll see the quotile there is charging up. Its little death blast. If that hits you, you are toast. It's a one-shot kill, but it also fuels all of the little cannons that are around the stage. See that line? That means that's going to shoot. Now what you do is you shoot these little guys here, or you shoot the cannons themselves, and once you destroy them, they will blow up and give you these little yellow dots. Get enough yellow dots and you can use the Zarlon cannon. And what you want to do is you want to charge up the Zarlon cannon and then use it to destroy the quotile. So I'm going to use this. You get 2 shots with this thing. There we go. And that's going to blow that one up, get me a whole bunch more. Got a little power up here. This is a very basic level. This gets so much more complicated in the best possible way. So I'm going to blow that up so the path is nice and clear. There's the quotile. I'm going to blow you up. But if you shoot that thing, which I forget what it's called, if you shoot that, then your Zarlon cannon won't be effective. You have to hit the quotile with your Zarlon cannon blasts, and then you move on to the next stage with that super cool swooshy effect. And as you can see, they get more and more complicated. The more white those barriers are, the more they take to destroy. So what you want to do is you want to find ways, like you see how those are all glowing when I hit that thing? That means that when I blow up that cannon, all of its various connected bits will be destroyed. So you want to make sure that you're doing your best to clear out the white bits that are going to block your Zarlon cannon from killing the quotile here. So I'm going to go ahead and take you out. So now I've got a nice little pathway here. So if I can charge up my Zarlon cannon, I got 2 free shots at the quotile here. Can I do it before it spins? 1 and 2. There we go. Take out the whole stage. I love this game. It is so good. And it gets so flippin' hard. There are stages in here that I got stuck on for weeks at a time, but this one I have been stuck on for months. I cannot get past that stage. I'll go ahead and give it a shot real quick here, which is insane because I'm playing on my streaming device and I have all this input lag, but whatever. I'm going to give it one shot just to show you how hard this game can get. So it gets really chaotic because eventually the stage itself just starts shooting all these various things at you. So I've got all these different pods here, and some of them are going to weaken that really white barrier in front of the quotile there, and some of them are going to do it in useless ways. 2 of them is usually enough. Oh, wow. That was great. Let's try that one more time. 2 of these things is usually enough to charge up the Zarlan cannon, which is nice. But there's so many of them, and you only get 3 shots. You only get 3 hits yourself, except unless you get hit by the quotile, then you're toast. So you just kind of have to choose the right ones, I guess, to break up that shield. You can see little bits of the shield are starting to fall apart, but I've never quite been able to figure out exactly what order to attack these in. The problem is the longer you stay alive in this stage, the more insane everything gets. And it's a bullet hell shooter, and I'm not great at those, and this stage just gets so insane. See, I'm already down to my last hit, and my Zarlan cannon is not going to do any damage to those white bits there, so I absolutely have to do it this way. As far as I can tell, I have to do it this way. I'm toast again. Got to choose the right ones. I am terrible at this stage. I've gotten really close before, but the problem is I've never been able to... I've gotten all the shields down, but I haven't been able to have the Zarlan cannon charged up to take out the quotile. And the only way to charge up after that is to get right up to the quotile and shoot it with your regular blaster to get the little yellow pellets to charge up your cannon. But surviving long enough to do that is crazy hard, because by the time you get to the longer you spend in the stage, the more bullets are just flying from every direction. It's nuts. It's nuts, it's hard, and I'll never beat it, but maybe someday I will. But there you go. That is the basics. That's what I do with my VCS. I play these games, and yes, I have these games on other platforms, but having a single platform dedicated to just these kinds of games that looks the way it does, the controller is nice, it is a novelty. It's a complete and total novelty, and I know it's capable of doing more than I do with it, but I tell you, just having this thing dedicated to these games brings me joy, and I have very much gotten my money's worth out of it. I'm glad I didn't pay full price for it. I got it for very cheap on clearance. And if you can get an expensive one, if this is the kind of stuff that tickles you, I recommend it just because it's a neat thing. Not because it does anything that anything else doesn't do well or better, just that it's a neat thing. And that is my Atari VCS.
Well, there you have it, folks. That is how I feel about my Atari VCS, and I love it. I love having this thing. It was such an ill-advised idea to begin with, and the fact that they have taken this weird, all-encompassing media machine that really didn't live up to its promise and turn it into this cool little simple game-focused gaming platform, I think is really neat, and I'm very curious what they're going to do with the future of the platform, because it is, you know, it's hardly a powerhouse, but it's not underpowered to play the kinds of games that they seem to want to be promoting on the system. And with the new Polycade stuff coming in the future, with various add-ons to let me play different Atari cartridges on the platform, it could be really cool. I'm very interested to see where this is going. Atari's been up to some really wild stuff in the last year. 2023 has been a very interesting year for Atari, so what's next? I don't know. Am I glad I have a VCS? Absolutely. Should you get one? Only if you really want one, because it's not going to do anything super fancy special. It's just going to do what it does the way that it does it. And if that tickles you, then I say go for it. I say get one. I definitely can't recommend it to everyone, but I can recommend it to crazy people like me. So if you're my kind of nuts, get yourself a VCS. That's it, everybody. If you like what you saw here today, please follow, comment, like, subscribe, share. Let me know in the comments, what do you honestly think of the VCS? Do you have one? Do you play it regularly, or do you have one as a paperweight? Did you go to PC mode and turn it into an emulation box? I don't know. I want to hear other stories about what the VCS means to you and what do you think its future is. So yes, let us know. Let me know however you like. Thanks again for watching. On behalf of all of us here at Stone Age Gamer, keep playing games. Ow. All right.